In this video, we're talking about one of my favorite topics, pet insurance. Whatever pet you own, I firmly believe that you should insure them. I'm going to tell you why I think pet insurance is so important, and then later I will share the main pitfalls that people fall into when buying pet insurance. I believe that pet ownership is not a universal right. It is a choice that we make. Pets are a luxury, not a necessity. And for those of us who make that choice, we need to consider how we are going to care for that animal if they get sick and need veterinary care. It is very easy to not think about this. Nobody imagines their lovely young cat growing old or being in a car accident or developing a chronic illness, but every animal gets ill and eventually they all need veterinary care. So we all need a plan on how to pay for that. Veterinary medicine has changed hugely in the past 20 years. We can do so much more for cats now compared to 20 years ago, but it all costs money. And that is why it is important to plan on how to pay for your pet's veterinary care when perhaps it was not necessary in the past. With pet insurance, you pay a monthly premium, usually somewhere between £20 and £50 per month, depending on your cat's age and amount of insurance cover. Insurance cover means how much your insurance company will pay out for your cat in each policy year. The higher this number, the more you will pay per month. Pet insurance is not like car insurance. Your premium will increase yearly with inflation, but it should not increase just because you have claimed. There is usually an excess to pay on each new condition that you claim for, and the amount of the excess will depend on your policy and the age of your cat, but is usually in the region of £50 to £100 for a young cat and may increase to £100 to £200 for an older cat. Most insurance companies will also ask that you pay a percentage of your vet bills when you have an older cat, often over the age of 10. Let me use the example of my cat. He is 14 and I pay £33 per month for his policy. When I claim on my cat's insurance, I pay the first £110, which is his excess. I also pay 20% of the total bill. The insurance company pays the remaining 80%. So say I had a £1,000 vet bill, I would pay about £290 and my insurance company would pay the remaining £710. For me, insurance makes that £1,000 bill much more manageable. And if he was under the age where I do not pay 20% of the bill, I would only have to cover the excess. The other benefit of pet insurance is that most vet practices will allow you to pay only the excess and then they will get the insurance company to pay them directly, especially if your bill is large, which means that a lot of the time you do not need to worry about where to find the money in the gap between your cat being ill and the insurance company paying for their care. The first is that some people do not realize that there are two different types of insurance policies. The two main types are policy for life and year policy, and there's a huge difference between the two. With a year policy, your cat is only covered for any illness or accident for one policy year. And after that, whatever you've claimed for will not be covered and it will become a pre-existing condition. And that may be okay if your cat has a broken leg. It is unlikely to need ongoing care, but it is a problem if your cat develops a chronic illness that may require lifelong treatment. It may also be a problem if you have claimed for non-specific symptoms such as vomiting or diarrhea, which in the future your insurance company or any other insurance company may not cover and they may class as pre-existing conditions. Therefore, it is far safer to take out a policy for life. With a policy for life, any illness your cat develops will be covered for life as long as you continue the policy. The second pitfall is that some people do not realize that some policies only cover accidents and some only cover illnesses. And ideally, you want your policy to cover both accident and illness, even in a young cat. Some people assume that young cats do not get chronic illness, and it is definitely less common than in older cats, but it can still happen. And if your policy does not cover illness, you will be in the same position as we talked about a minute ago, where your cat's illness will not be covered and no other insurer will cover it either. So please read the fine print closely and where possible take out a policy that is for life and that covers both accident and illness. There is a third pitfall to briefly mention. When taking out pet insurance, you choose an upper monetary limit of how much your insurance company will pay out for your cat per policy year. The insurance company will give you different options. It varies depending on the company, but it is often options like £1,000, £4,000, sometimes even up to £12,000 per year. The lower the amount you choose, the less you will pay monthly on your policy. Now, I know that £1,000 is a lot of money, But if your cat gets ill, this budget can get eaten into very quickly, and it is often not enough if your cat needs orthopedic surgery or has a serious condition. So you may still end up paying out of pocket. And that is okay if that is what you choose to do. It is a compromise between monthly premiums and possible future vet bills. But if you want enough insurance to make sure that your pet's vet bills are covered by your insurance policy and you do not want to risk having to pay out of pocket, I recommend a policy of at least £4,000. And this really is the minimum that I recommend. Some animals do need care beyond this, so if you want to be even more sure that you do not exceed your limit, I would go with a limit of £7,000 or above. When choosing a limit, there is no right or wrong. It is a compromise between monthly premiums and the risk of your cat becoming seriously ill and needing a bigger pot. The problem only arises when people do not realise what they have bought or what the upper limit really means, which is why I am mentioning it here. So please carefully consider what the best option is for your circumstance. If you decide pet insurance is not for you, that is okay too. But your cat may still get ill and you will still need a way to care for them. An alternative to insurance is to set up a savings account for your cat. You could put aside the amount of money that you would spend on an insurance policy each month and deposit it into a savings account. I would suggest £20 to £30 per month for a young cat and increase it to £30 to £40 per month for an older cat. That way, if your cat gets ill, you still have a way to cover the cost. Now, I have encountered a problem with this method. People sometimes are still unwilling to spend the money. So although it is for the cat, perhaps subconsciously they have earmarked it for a holiday or a new kitchen. So you must be clear that when you are doing this, that the money is for the cat and be willing to spend it on the cat. I recommend that you speak to any pet owning friends you have about insurance and see what their experiences are. The pet insurance market is growing and changing daily, and it can be very confusing, especially if you are new to insuring your cat. Insurance is not for everyone. The most important thing is to have a plan on what to do when your cat gets sick. I have more resources on my website, allcats.co.uk, and if you have topics that you would like to see a video on, please let me know and I will be happy to make them for you. See you in the next video.